Oh, hello, good morning. Good morning, good morning. How are you? Oh my goodness. So good morning, friends. Anyone else feeling like this is the Mondayest Tuesday ever? I'm having a Monday over here. I'm having a Monday-ish Tuesday all day long. So it's okay. We're going to do this. It's Tuesday, March 31. Hello. We made it. We're going to do a little get ready with me. If we haven't met, I am Erica Champion Wise. I am an elite independent consultant. I am a fashionista. I am a fashionista in our paparazzi accessories, and I'm going live simultaneously in my Team Wise group. So good morning, Team Wise, and on my YouTube channel. And so I love doing these. I chat with my team most every morning. Not every morning, because let's be real, not every day I get dressed. I work from home. And so I decided to go ahead and do these publicly because I know I have a very large public audience. And I hear from you all the time how I am able to help and to serve you. And a lot of you, I fill a role of an upline that you don't have. And so YouTube, I love it. Say good morning if you see me live. If say replay, if you're watching the replay, Team Wise, you know I show up and serve you every day. Every day, Team Wise, I show up and serve you, show up and help you, show up and teach and train you. So Team Wise, if you see me live, say good morning. If you're watching the replay, let me know you watch the replay. All right, so let's jump into this. I titled today's Love and Serve People. And I think this is very timely considering the climate of the world that we are in. And I think we got to talk about it. We got to talk about how we can love and serve people in and through paparazzi. So I grew up in a very religious world, and I know a lot of you did as well. And part of my religion is to be a servant, to serve others. And Jesus said that the one who serves will be highly exalted, and all that jazz. And so being a servant in my belief system is highly prized. And so if this is not your belief system, don't worry. We're not going to dig too much into religion, I hope, today. We probably will, because that's how I roll. It just happens. I can't help myself. It's so deep in there. It just has to come out sometimes for air. So I want to talk about serving and loving through paparazzi. And the first thing we got to talk about is that if you don't do it with love, if you don't show up to love people, don't show up. I'm going to be brutally honest there. If you don't show up to love people, don't show up. If you show up only to get what you can get, only to get your coin, only to secure your bag, only to grow your rank and recognition and your paycheck, don't show up. I love you with all that I have. And you know that I'm brutal, but it comes from a heart of love. And if you're going to show up just for what you can get, don't show up. That's not the mission of paparazzi. That's not the heart of paparazzi. That's not the heart of our founders. That's not the heart of who we are. We are not self-serving. We are servants. And so often we forget that. I've watched many of us forget that. Many of us, and I say us, in on that game too, forget that we are not here to be served. We are here to serve. And that is a difficult concept in a capitalistic society. Gonna be honest, it's a very difficult concept in a man's world. You know what I mean by that? It's a difficult concept to accept and believe and agree with, that we are here to serve and not be served. And as leaders, we fall into the trap very often of, I do so much for you, you better give back to me. And again, it's I've fallen into these traps too. And the only reason I can be this level of brutal with you, and this level of honest with you, and this level of truth with you, is that been there, done that, bought that t-shirt, bought 3 of them, right? I have lived this life. And so if we come at business, if we come at sales, if we come at team growth with what can you do for me, we've lost the game immediately. And don't show up that way. Don't show up that way. And you know the rule around here, if I step on your toes or hurt your feelings, that's right where you need to grow. I got my feelings hurt a couple days ago with a coach of mine, showing up selfishly. And I want to tell you that some of the not everybody, but some of you, the reason you're not succeeding, some of you, the reason you're not seeing the growth level that you want, some of you, the reason you're stuck, you're selfish. With all the love I have, you're selfish. You're showing up for how your team can serve you. You're expecting your team to give back to you in the manner in which you give to them. And I'm going to be honest, it ain't ever going to happen. It's never going to happen that way. And I say that from a type 2 personality here. I am a servant. I am a giver. That is the title of my Enneagram personality. I am the giver. I am the one that will give you the shirt off my back and the food out of my mouth. And I was doing it this morning. So that's where this came from. Let me just be real transparent, because transparency is key, and vulnerability is my word of the year. And so let's just dive in. I was this morning in my own funk and in my own mess and in my own struggle, because I was so angry that I show up and I give and I pour out and I push through and I encourage and inspire and give everything I have. I give 110% all the time, and I don't ever get it back. I was angry because there was no reciprocity. Reciprocity meaning to be given back to me. I was hurt. Truthfully, I wasn't even angry. I was very hurt. I was very hurt that I give so much and so little is given to me in the way that I give out. Do you know what I mean by that? Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. And so this morning, I had to deal with myself. I really had to, I had help. Solomon helped me through it. We had a little vulnerable moment this morning. I told him where I was, and I had to address myself and say, you can't expect you back from people. You will never get you back from other people. And to my fellow givers and to my fellow doers, to my fellow type 2, type 3s, we are never going to get ourselves back from other people. I'm never going to get me back from anybody else. Not even another type 2. It's not going to happen. And so I need you to understand that when we give and when we do and when we serve, we have to do it without expectation of another person giving back to us. And this is where my belief system comes into play. And if you believe in God, believe in this, or believe in the benevolent universe, or whatever you believe in, I don't care what you believe in. It's all very similar. So substitute whatever word you want to say here. But my belief system is that I do unto God. I do with God watching, with God knowing, and with God seeing what I do. And it is his responsibility to give back to me according to his riches. It's not a personal responsibility. It's not a human responsibility. It's not my team's responsibility. It's not my husband's responsibility. It's not my parents' responsibility. He sees and knows all that I do, both public and private. And it is his responsibility to give back to me according to what he has seen me do. And that makes a huge difference. And that also can set some of us free. That sets me free and reminds me that I don't work for man. I don't work for my team. And I want to remind you of that, leader. You don't work for man. You don't work for your team. You work for God. You do all things as unto the Lord. And I want to set you free of that. And if you believe the universe, you work for the good of the universe, you know? And so when you're not getting the reciprocity, let it go. Honestly, you just have to let it go. You just have to let it be. And you have to understand that you cannot ever expect you back from people. And doing so is suicide. Doing so is emotional suicide. And there's no other way to describe it. It's going to kill you. It's going to hurt you. It's going to make you feel less than. It's going to make you feel like you may as well not even try. It's going to feel like you may as well throw in the towel and give up because you're not good at this. Because if you were good at this, like this is the anybody resonating with this? Because this is that was going through my head the last little while. If you were good at this, they would respond. If you were a good leader, if you could lead people, they would be giving back to you. They would be supporting you. They would be pushing through for you. They would be rallying for you if you were a good leader. And I've had to deal with that. I had to push out. I had to tell, no, that's a lie. I am a good leader. I'm an amazing leader. I'm a fabulous leader. I show up. My only problem here is I'm expecting me from someone else. I'm expecting what I would do for my leader, what I have done for my leader from someone else. I'm expecting me from someone else. And so I can't do that because I'm never, ever going to get me from someone else. And asking someone else to be me, well, it's cruel. It's honestly cruel because no one else can be me. No one else has my skill. No one else has my talent. No one else has my God given gifts. No one else has my experience. No one else has my education. No one else can be me. And so, some of the reasons you're not loving people, some of the reason you're not serving people is you're expecting you from them. It's never gonna happen. And you have to be willing to be firm with yourself. You have to be willing to say to yourself, girl, you're expecting you from people. It's never gonna happen. You need to let it go. You need to stop that. You need to be real with yourself. You need to get down with yourself and say, listen, you cannot continue this path. You're hurting yourself and you're hurting other people because you can't love people when you resent people. And you resent people. Here you go. Here's your connection. You can't love people when you resent people. And you resent people because they're not doing what you would do. It's true. And you know it's true. If you will own that truth, you will set yourself free. You can't love people because you're resenting people. And you're resenting people because they're not doing what you would do. There's just the bottom line on that one. And so, how do we love people? Number one, we let people be people. I'm going to be brutal again. Some people suck. And this is not a slight to anybody, but we all know this. When I said that, someone popped in your brain. Some people just can't do it. Some people you just cannot count on. Some people you just cannot communicate with. Some people you just have to set hard boundaries with. Some people you have to cut ties with. It's just the reality of the world. Some people you can't run with. You can't jive with. You can't play with, right? Your mama always said, well, you can't play with him. He's a bad influence. Well, that holds true in adulthood too. You can't work with them. They're not good for you. They're not helping you. They're not pushing you. They're not encouraging you. You can't play with them. And so loving people starts with knowing who's who. This is going to be a long training today. I hope y'all got your seatbelts on. Loving people starts with who is who. Who can I run with? Who can I play with? And who needs to take a balcony seat? It's from Real Talk Kim. I love when she says that. Who can I run with? Who can I play with? And who needs a balcony seat? You got to know who's who. And that's huge. Why? Because if you got the wrong people in the wrong seats in your life, you're going to be resentful of them. They're not going to feel loved. You can love people from a distance. I love my parents. I love my parents dearly, but they're 600, 700 miles away. And I still love them from a distance, right? I don't need them in my backyard to love them. I can still love them from a distance. And you can still absolutely love people from a distance. Some people need balcony seats in your life, and that will free you up to love them differently. And this is a lesson I had to learn this year. Shout out to Valerie for helping me learn this. Not everyone gets the same part of me. Some people I love different than others. Some people I love heart and soul, my husband. Heart and soul, 100% all out. Some people are on the balcony level and they get a little different kind of love. And that I think is very intelligent. That's very smart. That's very adult, knowing that you can love different people differently. But if you've got people in the wrong seats in your life, you're loving the wrong people the wrong way. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm hoping this makes sense. Tell me if this is making sense because I'm getting no feedback here. You're loving the wrong people the wrong way. And if you'll rearrange some seats, it will free you up to love different people. Trust people at their action, never at their word. I'm sorry. I know that may sound really harsh. I'm not even sorry about it. Trust people at their action, never at their word. Actions speak louder than words. It's a cliche for a reason. Trust people at their action and never at their word. And I want you to take a hard look, and I want you to be really brutal and really vulnerable and really honest with yourself. You never have to tell anybody. You never have to go to somebody and be like, listen, you are now in the balcony and you're lucky you're in the room. No, you don't have to tell them that. They don't have to know that. But you need to take a hard look at yourself, and you need to take a look at who you're loving and how you're loving them. And do they have they earned that level of love? Have they earned that level of love? Have they earned the first class seat love? You know what I'm saying? Have they earned it? If the answer is no, congratulations. You get to rearrange the seats. You're in charge of the seating chart. You're in charge of the seating chart, and your mama gets no say. You know, if you have a parent that abused you, you can still love them, but you can love them from a different place. You can love them from a distance. You can love them with a different level of love. Okay, making sense? I hope so. And so love starts, we may have to do a couple days on this. Love starts with recognizing who's in the wrong spot, who you're giving the wrong love to, who you're pouring out the wrong amount of love to, and then who you're not giving the right amount of love to. This, it can be what is very difficult in our business, but it's also very difficult in life. It's very difficult in life. You know, I found myself often giving more love to my team than to my own husband. It's a struggle that we go through. It's a struggle that I go through. Um, because for me, safety and security are paramount. And so I find myself giving the wrong person the wrong kind of love, and having to check myself and having to back myself up and having to be like, whoa, girl, you know, you gotta zoop, you gotta switch them. Oh, shoot. You got them going the wrong way. You got them going the wrong way. Dog hair. I dropped that right in the floor. And so you may have to, you're absolutely going to have to self-assess. You're going to have to look at yourself and be like, whoa, you send in the wrong kind of love. Long learning process. There's no shame in having to be like, oh crap, I did it again. Girl, you're going to do it tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And so how do you love? We'll come back tomorrow. Let this sink in. I want to let this sink in. I want you today to go ahead and take an assessment of the people in your life. If you're in business and you have a team, I want you to assess your team. I want you to see who you're giving love to, who you're not giving love to, who you need to give love to, and maybe who you're giving the wrong kind of love to. I want you to basically, I want you to rearrange your life. I want you to rearrange who's in your life and the priority and the precedence that they get. And that's only something that you can do. And so I want you to do that today. And we'll come back tomorrow. I'll make a promise to you. I'll come back tomorrow. We will talk about how to love in and through paparazzi. Because I didn't know all of this was here today, but somebody needed it. And so we'll come back tomorrow and we'll talk about how to love in and through our businesses. But for today, take an assessment. See where you're loving and where you're not loving, and who you need to love differently, and maybe who you need to, quite frankly, kick out. Because we're investing a lot of energy sometimes in people who don't need it. It might not be the easiest thing you've ever done. I'll be honest. It might be the hardest thing you've ever done, but it will be the most worthwhile thing you've done. So good luck. Invest this time while we're at home. You have the time to do it. So rock it out. See what you can see. Figure out your own life and your own heart. Good luck, and I will see you tomorrow.